Welcome to your journey of healing with the Healing Podcast, hosted by licensed clinician Monique Owe and co-host Dr. Amber Mohn.
Thank you for tuning into the Healing Podcast. I am your host, Monique Owe. Dr. Mohn is not here with me today. This is a quick extra bonus episode that I wanted to share with everyone. Again, I thank everyone for your support and for all our listeners and subscribers. I appreciate you. And hopefully this episode will help someone, maybe you or someone you know. And the title of this episode is Being at Peace Amongst the Pain, Part 1. This is a Thanksgiving episode. So, to explain what I mean by that, this is an episode that will talk about the many pains and struggles that people face. I'm going to acknowledge that when it comes to the Thanksgiving holiday or just this time of year. This is a holiday, of course, celebrated in the U.S. If this is not a holiday you celebrate, that you even acknowledge, this episode is probably not for you, or it probably won't even, faze you. But this is for people who traditionally celebrate the Thanksgiving holiday. So we know the Thanksgiving holiday is a time usually when people will gather with family and friends, spend time with loved ones, eat some good food, laugh, joke, all those good things. And, it's really a joyous occasion. And for many people, that's just what it is. Everybody's getting ready, even right now, to get all their things together, their meals, their recipes, going to the grocery store, different things to make sure that the Thanksgiving holiday is a wonderful and great occasion. And that's great. For those, I'm very happy. I want you to continue to enjoy that, continue to enjoy family, continue to share with each other, and to, just enjoy the people that you care about. But this episode is about those who may be in a struggle right now with this holiday because of many different things. I'm going to talk about when it might be a financial issue this year and you can't do it. Maybe there's been a change in your family dynamic due to loss, whether that's been loss due to someone passing away, or maybe loss due to maybe there's now a separation that's going on in your family or with your loved one, your relationship with your significant other, your spouse, maybe a change in maybe just your circumstance. Maybe emotionally you're just not feeling it. Maybe there's been some type of conflict in the family. Maybe now you just feel like I'm not up to celebrating it this year. So I want to talk to the people who may be going through that because it's not so festive this year, right? It's not so great. And maybe it's been going on for a little while. Maybe for a few years you've been feeling this way. So let's talk about it. So for those who are feeling the first one, let me address the first one first, finances. If this year Thanksgiving is going to be a financial strain, I want you to consider, do you need to make it a strain? Does it have to be all of that? I think what happens this time of year, it's a big struggle. It's a big pressure, to prepare the meals, to host the family or to travel to family. Those things cost money. It's not cheap. So you're feeling pressured to do so and you want to do so, but maybe this year is a struggle because maybe you just found out you were laid off. Maybe you just found out that you really are going to have a shorter paycheck than you expected. Maybe a commission check didn't come through for you. Maybe a bonus didn't come through for you. Maybe it's just been a struggle because you have a lot of bills this year and that are unexpected and it's really just something. So you're trying to figure out ways to make this thing happen because you don't want to disappoint family or yourself. So you're trying to find a way to make this big dinner happen even though it's not in your budget and you're feeling bad about it. And you're already thinking of ways to get through it, but you're thinking about ways to put yourself back in a financial bind or hole just to please a few people. And I get it. They're your loved ones. You care for them. You want to be around them, but this might not be that year, and it's okay. This might not be that year. This might be the year you might have to say, listen, this is not the year everybody can come to my house. I know everybody was planning it, but I just had some shocking news. We're going to have to shift the venue. We're going to have to go to someone else's house. Or you know what? We're going to have to go out. we're going to have to do something else, because there are some places that are still open on Thanksgiving, and it's what you make it, right? But let me go to the people who've had a shift in maybe loss. Maybe this is a painful time of year for you because you've had some loved ones to pass away, maybe recently, maybe it's just a reminder of someone that passed away years ago. But either way, it's a loss, and you're trying to muster up the strength to smile and enjoy the festivities, even though you don't want to, because it's a sad occasion for you, right? And then we have those who may be going through a different relationship shift. Maybe you just broke up with someone, or maybe in your marriage you're experiencing some issues, and it's just you don't feel festive, you don't feel like being around a lot of people. It's just not a good time. Maybe there's some conflict in the family, so a big conflict to where being around everybody is really going to cause you, because I'm talking about you, more damage than good. So that's what I'm talking about in this episode. I want you to consider yourself, okay? One, if you're in a financial bind, that's not what this occasion is for. This occasion is supposed to be to give thanks and to celebrate with other ones and share a meal and just be happy, right? But guess what? If this year is not in the budget, please don't break the bank. Please don't do that, because that's only going to make things worse. If you just found out you lost your job, I am definitely sorry about that. But take these 2 days to regroup and focus on what you can do so you can get back to whatever you need to do. If you have children and you're concerned your children will be disappointed, they'll be okay, because it's going to be what you make it. You can make Thanksgiving just as fun of a day as any. It's all about how you do it. There are plenty of things you guys can do, and to make it a day for you guys. And what if it's a day where you just feel like resting? It can just be a day of rest. You can always do the big Thanksgiving next year. If it's that important to you, you can do the big Thanksgiving next year. So please don't put yourself in a jam trying to borrow money, trying to find out if you can get a quick loan to go ahead and make this one day happen, to buy all this food for people who are going to be there for what, maybe a day, maybe some 2 days, maybe some a few hours. It's not worth it. For those who are going through the issue of loss, maybe you miss your family member that used to be here and they're no longer here, and you're feeling the pressure of wanting to force yourself to be happy. And I'm going to tell you, allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to have a day in a moment. If you feel sad in a moment, that's okay. If you feel like crying, if you feel frustrated because of the loss, that's okay. Allow yourself to feel that and then go to the next emotion. You don't have to stay there, but realize what you need for you. You don't have to partake in any festivities if you don't want. Or you can make something more a different way for you this year. Maybe that person won't be here or those people, but you can celebrate it with someone else that makes you smile. Or maybe you can do an activity that makes you smile that day to get your mind off of the pain, and that's perfectly fine. You can maybe look at that person's picture, maybe have a picture frame of that person or those people that you care about that are no longer here, and you can put their picture out and you can celebrate, maybe eat their favorite meal that you guys used to eat, or something favorite of you guys, just to say, you know what, I remember you and I love you. And, definitely we wish those people were here, but they're not. So what I'm saying in that is, if there's loss involved, it's okay if you don't feel all cheery right now and feel like participating. It's okay. You don't have to, and don't force yourself to. Now, maybe there's conflict. Maybe there's some type of relationship that really wasn't all that great, maybe between a parent, a sibling, a cousin, a friend, whoever, a spouse, and you're just not feeling, all that great about it. And you're just wondering, how can I get through this? Of how do I just visit family when I don't want to? Well, let me tell you, you don't have to visit people you don't want to. That is going to be a choice of yours. You don't have to force yourself to be around anyone that you don't want to. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves and we care a lot about what other people think, but you don't consider yourself to get the peace that you need, right? Maybe you just don't feel like being around family because it's just not that year. You haven't been into it. It's been a lot going on, a lot of changes, and you just don't feel up to it. And that is okay. So, what I want to say to you is, let's talk about this pressure. Do you have to be around people you don't like? Do you have to be around people and family members who have not been there for you completely? Do you have to be around people and force yourself to smile when you're not up to it? Maybe you have a spouse that's pressuring you to be around family and you just don't feel like it because it's a reminder. Maybe you love your in-laws, but going around them this year is a reminder of the pain in your family that maybe the things going on in your family, and your spouse is not being too considerate. You're trying to be considerate of your spouse because they want you to be a part of the festivities with them as normal, but this is not your year. Be okay with saying no and not going. It's okay. Be okay with explaining to your spouse, this is not the year where I'm feeling up to it. I just can't do it. And as a spouse, if you're the one who wants your spouse to attend, be understanding to know this is not the year. Okay? And if you guys are going through something and it's just like a lot to be around people, maybe there is something going on in your relationship, why force yourselves to be around people right now if you don't want to? I'm not saying to isolate, but sometimes you need a day where it's just to yourself, and be comfortable in that. I think the sad thing is I see people putting so much pressure on themselves to go smile and laugh in front of everybody and do all these great things, but you're not up to it. And it's adding more stress, more pain, more issues to you than you think. And it's causing more emotional, perhaps damage than you think. And all of those stress, all those stressors, all that pain, all that strain you're putting on yourself, do you think is healthy for your body? It's not. So I want to say, stop feeling pressured to do what society says you have to do. And I want to go into ways you can deal with that, because I know this is a hard time. You want it to be better. You would love to be around family. You wish your finances were different. You wish your loved one was here. You wish that the conflict between your significant others or your loved ones wasn't there, but it is. And you're just trying to find a way to be okay with it and to force yourself. Well, we're going to talk about that, or I'm going to talk about that in a little bit when I come back in just a moment. But I'm going to make a quick segue here. And you know what? You guessed it. I'm going to talk about the situation. So let's see what we have today. Now, I pulled this situation from the internet. It's an anonymous, I guess you could say, group that I'm in that posts different relationship issues or random questions. And sometimes they're very interesting. I think they're worth discussing because I feel like it's not just this person that posted this is going through this. It's probably many people's issue. So here's the situation. The question is, can you entertain someone you know isn't relationship material just until you meet your ideal partner? Is it okay to have an in-between person, or is that a bad idea? It seems like the dating pool is infected right now, and sometimes you just want to entertain someone until someone else better comes along. Does this make sense? Well, let's talk about that. My big takeaway is, why would you waste your time? Why would you waste your time and the emotions of the other person just until someone else better comes along? The whole point is focus on the better. Put yourself out there for the better. Now, it's one thing if you're dating and you're going on a different date, and you're exploring. I feel like dating is like research, right? That's one thing if you go on a date, but it's one thing if you know this person is not for you. You know you don't like them. You know you're not all the way compatible. You know you guys have different beliefs, or you're not really that attracted to them, but you feel like, I guess because they're a filler, they allow, they might do something with you, like go to the movies, go out to eat, do something fun just to get your mind off of things. And I think ultimately you need to look within yourself. I think you might be unhappy with yourself and bored, and you need to be finding a way to love yourself enough, to entertain yourself enough, so that you don't feel the need to do that. Because while you're thinking that is a filler for you, are you going to cause pain to that person? Because that person may not look at you as just a filler, as an in-between. That person may really be into you. And what you're doing is, you're not going to be with them, but you're just allowing them to fill that space. Or maybe they're putting pressure on you, like, we should be together. We're really good together. But you're not. So I would say, no, I don't think the in-between is okay. That's my observation. I think you need to focus more on you, and I think you need to focus more energy on the person that will come in that is for you. Because if you keep entertaining people that are the alleged in-between, are you going to have anything to give to your ideal partner when they show up, when they do present themselves? Or are you even going to recognize that person? Because are you going to be so distracted by this person who is not for you that you completely miss the person that's for you? So is it okay? In my opinion, no. I think you should not do that. I think you should just focus on self, do things that make yourself happy, and put yourself in environments and with people and date people who you think might be more your speed. That's all I have to say about that situation. I hope that is helpful information. If anyone is facing that, I hope that's helpful to you. And if you would like to share your situation, please email support@thehealingpodcast.com. or you can go to the healingpodcast.com website and hit the contact tab. And I am sorry, I just realized that the website, I apologize to the listeners, had an issue. I just became aware this week that the contact tab is working okay, but I believe some of my content or our content is not there. It's facing some technical issues. I have my web person working on it, and I do apologize. So if you have tried to send your situation through the website and have not been able to go through, or just visit the website and it hasn't been working for you, my sincere apologies. We are working on it, but please send an email to support@thehealingpodcast.com. And hopefully, even by now, maybe by the time this episode gets posted, the website should be up and running fine. But so I apologize for any errors. And before we go back into the topic of how we can deal and gain peace from the pain, let's hear from our sponsor, Healing Expressions.
Are you someone who has been considering therapy? Perhaps someone else has told you that you need to talk to a therapist. Or maybe you're in a relationship and you want to discuss some challenges that you've been facing with your significant other. Maybe there's a communication issue, perhaps an incident of infidelity. Or maybe you just want to strengthen your relationship because you guys are thinking about taking another step. Maybe you're struggling with anxiety or depression, perhaps grief, life stressors, and you just want to share your thoughts with someone. Well, consider contacting Healing Expressions. Healing Expressions is a private practice located in the Atlanta, Georgia area. You will be given a session at an affordable price with a licensed therapist. If this resonates with you, consider going to healingexpressionsllc.com, reading about the practice, and hitting the contact tab to see if you can book a session. All right, thank you so much. And back to the Healing Podcast.
Okay, so back to the topic at hand. Feeling like you need to do stuff when you're not feeling up to it. Here's the thing. You're all putting all this pressure on yourselves for what? You're going to break the bank for what? For a day. It's a day. It might be a joyous day, it's a nice holiday, but it's a day. Don't make things worse just to make other people happy. I want you to remember that. Don't make things worse just to make other people happy. Seek your own peace. That might mean for Thanksgiving, let me say, for those in a financial struggle, that just might mean eating something regular. Yep, that means you might have to just go to the whatever restaurant might be over, even if it's a fast food place, and go to the dollar menu and order off of that dollar menu and be okay with it, and come home and watch your favorite movie or your favorite show or read your favorite book and be okay with it and be at peace, because next year it'll be better. Okay? I mean, take a rain check on it. Tell family, listen, we have a little financial situation going on. I do. And you know what? We're going to reconvene next year and come back together, or in a few months and redo this thing. But for now, we're going to take a break. That is perfectly fine. Or maybe even, I didn't mention this, maybe you just don't feel like cooking this year. You want to have it, but you don't feel like cooking. Well, order the food. Have somebody cater it. There are a lot of restaurants serving big, nice, traditional holiday meals. Order the food and have it catered. That's fine too. You can tell family, hey, this one year, guys, I didn't cook it. So it's going to be from this place. And that's perfectly fine. We put so much pressure on ourselves to make people happy when they'll be perfectly fine. You're putting more pressure on yourselves than them. But let's say it's about a loss. If it's about a loss and it's a loved one, this is what you can do. What I will say is, one thing you don't want to do is anything that's going to cause more pain. So you have to figure out what that's going to be for you. For some people, it means staying off of social media for those days. When something is very painful and you're going to see a lot of the pictures of people together with family, enjoying each other and laughing and joking, maybe stay off social media for that day, because no need to get triggered. Stay off. Do some other things. Read a book, go outside, take a walk, take a nap if you need to, get some rest. Maybe you have to work or something, but do something that will get your mind off of that painful thing. Maybe you want to go to the cemetery if that your loved one has passed away, if you're able to do that. But if you're in a different state than where your loved one maybe was buried, then you know what? It's okay. You can maybe have a special prayer that day, or a special letter to that loved one, how much you miss them. But let it be a letter of expressing your good feelings about them and how the good things you would be doing right now, but you are still celebrating who they were in your life. But do not feel pressure to go around others if you're not feeling up to it. So what I'm going to say is, for those who, and it's about loss, allow yourself to feel what you need to feel for that day. But that's it. But the guilt of I need to do something or I want to do something, don't force yourself. It just might not be that year. And even if it's been like that for the last few years, that's okay. The next thing is for those who are feeling like Maybe there's conflict and you don't want to go around family because it's been a big conflict. And you feel like going around them will make things worse and you have to muster up the strength. So what I want to say is just choose you. For this year, maybe you need to regroup and figure out how you want to approach the situation. Maybe you need to create a new boundary with people who have caused conflict in your life and not go around them. Or if you do, maybe you don't want to go around them around a big group of people, because usually the Thanksgiving holiday means a big group of people, and maybe you don't want to do that. So what I'm going to say for you is do what maintains your peace. If that means this year not showing up to the big dinner, don't go. Don't spend flight money or gas money going to a place only for you to sit through it and suffer. Who is that helping? It definitely is not helping you on your journey. That is not healing. That's just doing damage. They will be okay. They're going to criticize you. Let them criticize you. If they're going to critique you or call you and say how you should have done something, you don't have to answer the call. Respectfully. If it's your parents, and just let them know, I love you, but this year is not a good year. I'm not going to be able to come. Because here's my question. If you were in the hospital right now, would you be able to go? Would you feel bad about not going? Maybe that you missed some festivities, but would you feel like, oh, I got to sneak out of the hospital. I got to find a way to get out of here and take away this IV and everything so I can get there to this dinner because I have to be there. Would you feel that way? Or would you feel like, I just can't make it? I'm in the hospital. So in this instance, you just can't make it because you're taking care of your emotional self and you're taking an emotional wellness day. And that's okay. You can say, I love you from a distance. You can even send a meal catered to your family. Look, I'll pay for the meal. I'm just not going to be able to be there this year. Okay? Your children will be okay. Your family will be okay. But my question is, are you going to be okay? Is forcing yourself going to make you okay? And my thing is, it is perfectly okay if you don't want to show up. That is okay. Do something different this year. Do something that's going to make you smile, that's going to make you laugh, that's going to give you peace. So what is that? Again, if that's taking a nap, take a nap. If that's watching your favorite movie, watch your favorite movie. If you'd rather spend it with a few friends, spend it with a few friends and be grateful for your friends. If that is going to visit someone that is a joy to you, go visit them. If it's going to the cemetery, do that. If you have a therapist, hopefully you have processed these things, these feelings in your therapy sessions. Make sure you do what's going to be okay for you and be okay with it. It doesn't make you a bad person because you can't show up. What I think is the issue is people put too much pressure on themselves. You're putting too much pressure on yourselves to be someone else that someone else wants you to be. Be who you want to be and be okay with that. If you don't want to go to the dinner just because I don't feel like going to the dinner, don't go. You want to just lay back and chill, lay back and chill. It's not going to stop anything. The people who genuinely care about you, they know who you are. They know how you are. They know what you're about. And if this is the year that you said, no, not this year, that is fine. And I want you to be okay with that because that is healing. Being okay with the things you need for you. And that brings peace, even when there's pain. But what won't bring peace is struggling, putting yourself in a financial hole, adding strain to your life because you're trying to impress people or trying to do what other people want versus you. That stress, that pain, that financial hole, that burden, that smiling when you don't feel like smiling in front of people who don't deserve your smile, that, I tell you, will make things worse than better. So, I hope you are able to gain peace this holiday and be okay with not doing what's traditional. I thank you for tuning into the Healing Podcast. I always thank you for your support, and I definitely am grateful for you as a listener. And I want you to continue to listen, but let me go ahead and leave you with this, okay? So hopefully it'll give you something to carry. And that is, may the peace that comes from the memories of love shared comfort you now and in the days ahead. Again, may the peace that comes from the memories of the love you shared comfort you now and in the days ahead. That is what I want to leave you with. And I thank you for tuning into the Healing Podcast. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.